Everyone. Thank you for joining. The topic of today's webinar is franchising. How much money do you really need to buy a franchise? And what it really costs to start and franchise in the United States. Why people choose franchising? Many people want to start a business, but they don't want to start from zero. When you buy a franchise, you really buy a proven system, you buy a blueprint. Somebody already done it before you, somebody already probably made a mistake. So the idea is that you're going to learn from their mistakes and not yours. That's why people choose franchising versus opening the business from scratch. Um, Franchising will provide you training and support, a proven business model, a brand recognition, and the marketing systems. But the big question is always how much money do you actually need to start a franchise? The biggest myth is that people need $500,000 or more to start a franchise. Yes, it's true for some brands. If you want to start McDonald's or Pizza Hut, you will need way more than $500,000. But this is not the amount to start any franchise. There are franchises that you can start all in under $50,000. Many franchises start between $80,000 and $200,000 for the total investment. And when we're talking about total investment, we're talking about everything you need to get the business going. What makes up this investment? When you're buying a franchise, you're not only paying the franchise fee, it's just one part of it. You have to buy an equipment. You have to find a location for some businesses. I mean, not all franchises do need brick and mortar, but if they do, you have to find a location, you have to give a deposit, you have to pay first and last month's rent, and the most expensive part of it, you have to do the build out. Because every franchise that has brick and mortar will have plans for you how your location should look. So you have to buy the same tables if it's a restaurant. You have to buy and create the same kitchen counters, kitchen equipment, and so on and so forth. Training, most of the franchises include the training, but for some of them, they want you to go to their headquarters, for example, and work at their location for 20 to 30 days. So even if training is included, you usually pay your own transportation, uh, hotel, and cost of staying at this location. I know at least 5 or 6 restaurants that will make you work at their headquarters location for 30 days before they let you open your own. And usually, in this case, you go and work every position from dishwasher to the general manager because they want you to understand how everything is being done and know how to run successful business. Initial marketing or so-called go-to-market cost, it can be significant, depends on the brand and it depends on the area that you've purchased. Also, it depends on the name. If you're opening a Taco Bell, everyone knows Taco Bell. But if you open Max's Tacos and this is the first location in your area, yes, you'll have to spend money for people to know who you are and to give you an opportunity to go and try your food. Working capital. This is very, very important. You have to have money to support your payroll, to support your purchasing cost, and to support you running a successful business. Let's break this down. So franchise fee is what you pay to join the brand. It's like your initial fee to become a franchisee of a system. Typical range is $20,000 to $60,000. There are some brands that don't charge franchise fee, but they increase their royalties. There are some brands that let you finance the franchise fee, but typically it's somewhere between $20,000 to $60,000, more like $40,000 to $60,000. Um, Usually, franchise fee includes training, brand rights, and the operating systems. So operating systems is pretty much your brand manual. This is your Bible how to run the business. And um, it's typically very extensive document that covers everything from 3 months before you start the business to how to operate business day by day. And for most of the brands, the brand manual is over 500 pages, sometimes over 1,000 pages, depends on the complexity of the brand. And then, of course, the franchise fee includes the support that you're getting from your franchisor. Not all support is created equal. Not all support is created equal. So you have to ask this question. And my job as a franchise consultant to break it down for you and tell you what one brand provides versus what the other one does not. So also build out or setup cost. That depends on your type of franchise. If you open a home-based business, then your setup cost might be as low as $10,000, sometimes more, I mean, sometimes less. But if you buy a business that requires a brick and mortar and it's service franchise, it can vary from $50,000 to $120,000. For the restaurant, for example, it's usually starts at $250,000. Sometimes it's more. Just to give you perspective, to buy and start a McDonald's, your total cost to get in is going to get way higher than $1 million. It's usually $1.2 to $1.5 million per location. This is why the industry matters. It's really, really important for you to choose what industry you're going to, and do you have enough funds to support the growth. So working capital, many people forget this part. You have to have enough money to stay in business before clients start coming in. You always have to hope for the best, but be prepared for the worst. So working capital, it's really money to operate the business until it becomes profitable. Usually in franchising world, a franchisor wants you to save up 3 to 6 months of operating expenses. This may include the rent, payroll, marketing, supplies, and of course, cost of goods sold, or if it's a restaurant, the cost of food. If you are in the signage business, you have to buy enough ink. You have to buy enough raw material to print the signs, because when clients come in, you cannot just tell them, well, I don't have money to go and buy the supplies. So typical investment for franchises ranges, and it's a big range usually, for low investment franchises, which most of them are home-based. The total cost is about $80,000 to $150,000. Mid-range franchises is $150,000 to $300,000, and then large franchises can start at $300,000 and go way north of $1 million. Again, it really depends on the industry and it depends on each brand. How people actually paying for it. There are several options. The most common ones include SBA loans or Small Business Administration loans. So the US government has the money put aside to guarantee to banks that you will be paying their loan back. And usually that means easier approval. up to a certain amount, I believe it's $300,000. You don't need a collateral. You can get it. And there are a lot of SBA options, but on average, you have to have the uh, credit score over 700 points. You have to be a US citizen. Up until recently, you could be a green card holder, but now to qualify for SBA, you have to be a US citizen. The retirement funds, usually ROPS, which means you would convert your 401k. So you would take a loan from yourself and then you'll pay it back. So a lot of people use their 401k and IRA money to buy and start a franchise. Home equity, depending on the rates, and they've been coming down recently, people do take an option of get a second line of credits on their house or equity line of credit and finance the business this way. Seller is financing. In some cases, some franchises tell you, how about you pay first 30% and then we'll finance the other 70%. So it's very common. Not every brand is offering it, but it does exist. So they want you to buy their franchise, and for the good candidates, they will help you to come up with the money. So what is the minimum cash requirement? Most lenders require 30 to 40% of the total investment in liquid capital. And that's usually not something that franchisor checks. That's something that your bank check. They run your credit history and you fill out the application. In most of the cases, franchisors don't see that because they don't want to know your social security number, and they don't want to get the proprietary information from you. So usually that's done by banks or the brokers who help you get a loan. So example, for $200,000 franchise, you may need about $60,000 to $80,000 cash. The rest can often be financed. And again, we just covered how is being financed. Let's talk about the biggest mistake that buyers make. A lot of people want to choose a franchise based only on price. Look, price is important, but if one franchise costs $5,000 less, but provides you extra 6 months of training or extra support, maybe it makes sense to buy I'm sorry, what I meant, if a franchise costs $5,000 more, but provides you 6 months of extra training or extra support, maybe it makes sense to spend this $5,000 because you will get more for your buck. So don't necessarily look at the price as the sole factor. See what you're getting for this price. Important factors is demand in your market. What is the industry that is hot right now? What does your market need? What is supply of, let's say, if you're buying a tutoring service for kids, see what competitors are in the market. What is the demand? You want to look at the geography of your area. So, for example, if it's a retirement town where there are not that many kids, maybe that's not the best business to buy. You know, you don't want to open a nightclub where most of the areas are designed for senior citizens. They're probably not going to go to the nightclubs or the hookah bar franchises. So you want to do the market analysis and decide what industry is good for your particular market. The profit margins, they are important, but you have to understand that profit margins are not coming in from day one. I mean, no matter what franchise you buy, you have to build it first. And then once you do, you'll be able to start making money. And support from franchisor, very, very important. You definitely want to talk to other franchisees of the brand and ask them, how much support am I going to get? Is the franchisor going to be available when I need them? Or do I have to wait for them to get back to me in 2 to 3 weeks? The scalability of the business. If you buy a new pizza franchise that is hot right now, make sure that you have an opportunity to build 1 or 2 more locations around you, because what you don't want to happen is to build yours, make it very famous in your city, and then somebody coming in and buying 10 territories around you. So you pretty much did all their work for them for free. And then they just come back in a few years and take all the profits, because now they have 10 locations that people go to and they only have 1 location. So always see what are your options to grow the franchise. So what I help clients do, um, we help people to understand the real costs. We've been around franchising for years. I'm a certified franchise executive, so I went back to school to study for it. We do work with over 600 different franchises, so we definitely can recommend you a franchise based on the costs that you have in mind. We help you as the candidate to identify franchises within your budget and then evaluate the opportunities. Again, if someone tells you today this is the hot industry and you should jump into this industry, you have to consider different numbers, not just necessarily how hot is the industry, how easy is it going to be to find an employee for this industry, how saturated is the industry in your city. I'll give you one example. Uh, there are a lot of baby boomers right now, so the senior care is a very hot market in the United States, but there are 68 senior in-home care franchises in the United States, 68. So there are a lot of them out there, and you're going to have a big competition. I'm not saying this is the um, bad industry. It's worth being considered, but you have to see what the city is and where you opening it and how many other franchises already operate in your area. There are still some good markets that don't have enough providers, but most of the metropolitan areas in the United States are getting oversaturated with these franchises. Connect with funding resources. So we can help you to find a franchise broker, finance franchise broker who can help you work with different banks and find the best deal that is working for you. Um, all it takes for us is to make an introduction. I'm not looking to make any cuts based on the rate. It's a different business. Our job is to help you find the franchise. That's all we do. And our consultation is completely free. Everything we do is not, you're not paying. So if you buy, we get a commission from franchisor, and we actually take it one step further. We share part of this commission with our candidates, and also we pay for 9 months of your sales training with the live sales coach. So if I can summarize it, I want to say that franchising is not only for millionaires. Many successful franchise owners start with under $100,000 in liquid capital. And the most important factor is to choose the right franchise. You can start with 1 location and start building your empire. We have some successful candidates who started their franchising journey right out of college. So instead of finding the first job, they would go and buy a franchise. And then by the time they're 27, 28, they have two or three, sometimes more locations. And by the time they're 30, they are running multiple businesses and making really, really good money, way more than they would make if they find a job after college. So if you're curious about franchise opportunities, if you just want to talk and see what's out there, and do you have enough money to buy a franchise, book a free consultation. We'll discuss your goals, we will discuss your investment range, and we will give you options of different industry and see what franchises may fit your needs. Again, not all franchises create equal. Um, they really depend on your requirements, on your geographical area, and of course, on how much money you are ready to invest. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to speak with everyone. Thank you.